Hey,
is your host, Brandy of Bold Conversations with B, which is hosted every other Wednesday at 6:30 Central Standard Time. Thank you for joining us today. Before I introduce my guests, as you can see, I have a special guest. It's going to be great. But before I do that, right, hey.
hey.
Before I do that, I want to shout out my sponsor and a couple of women that are always making sure that I'm looking right and looking tight when I am online hosting this podcast. So first off, I want to shout out my sponsor, which is B. Anderson Collection, which is a cosmetic lipstick line that wants you to live your life in color. Right now, all of their colors are $10, and you can find them at Brandy D. Anderson, Brandy with an I, danderson.com. Also, I want to shout out Akia Hill. She is the proud owner of Hair from Scratch. She is always making sure my hair is looking tight and looking right. So shout out to her. She is located in DeSoto, Texas, and she is making custom wigs for every facet or phase of life that a woman is in. Also, I want to shout out my nail artist. Her name is Gracie Escananzo, and hopefully I'm saying her last name right. But she is located in Fort Worth, Texas, and she is always making sure that my hands are looking pretty because I talk with my hands a lot. So, anyways, I wanted to get that all out of the way. Thank y'all so much for making sure that I am presented the way that I am. Let's go ahead and get started. My special guest is John Martin. He is the owner of Chef Plate. He is a chef located here in the DFW area, but he's been all over the world. So, John Martin, who is John Martin? Who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my gosh, I am just a young man, with the grades from Philadelphia, and I'm just a loving husband and a loving father, and I love God. That's just who I am. I so happen to be able to cook well.
That's awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your family. How long have you been married? How old are the
Ooh.
kids? How many children do you have?
Oh man, I have two wonderful boys. They are 14 and 9. Yes. I've been married we celebrated year 15 this year,
All right.
and going strong as ever. And I'm married to the most beautiful, kindest, sensual, sexy, all the above, whatever adjective you can think of that relates to brilliance. I am married to her, Latoya Martin. She is the light of my life and my joy.
That is awesome. Crazy thing, y'all. I know John's wife. We used to work together and we still continue to connect. We connected a lot pre-COVID. We used to hook up and connect with one another at least once a month. But we still continue to check in even post-COVID. So it is making full circle. Also, as a side note, I bumped into John as I was attending a church service. And I had already asked him and his wife about him coming on to the show. And then boom, I turn around and there he is. I was just like, you know what? This is all divine. It is
Yep.
all set up. Like I am here for the setup. So, John,
Yeah.
why a chef?
You know what? So I always had a passion for cooking. My very first time cooking, quick story. My very first time cooking, I had to be 5 or 6 years old. Had to be. I was cooking fish sticks for me and my little sister.
Oh, not fish sticks.
Fish sticks. Nobody told me, well, I wasn't even supposed to be using the oven, that I had to use oven mitts
Ooh.
to take out the tray. So I literally took out the tray, dropped it, and screamed with my hand first degree burned up.
Oh my gosh.
And I would say that, and from that moment on, I know I was going to be a chef. No.
But no, absolutely not.
Yes. But I had love for cooking because of my mom, because of my grandmother. Them old school recipes that they instilled with me. I wasn't really allowed to go outside a lot just because of the neighborhood that we lived in. Being from inner city Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So one thing that I had going for me is that hey, they're in the kitchen cooking. Let me go see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Plus I love to eat, so I was always grabbing
Listen,
nibbles, right?
listen. Who don't love to eat? Child,
Exactly. So
period.
that's where my love for cooking grew. And like if I didn't go into the military after high school, I definitely would have went to culinary school.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so you went to the military. So talk a little bit about that. Because
Oh, sure.
I want you to tell us what was the catalyst that got you into cooking, like full blown, like this is what I'm doing. But let's step back and talk about, okay, so you graduated
Hmm.
and went into the military. What happened?
I want to say I was definitely a product of my environment. With a lot of the, uh, you know, inner city stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to get away from all that.
Yeah.
So joining the military was my escape.
You
Escape
better
from.
come on, John. You better come on. Now listen, didn't I tell you?
Uh-huh.
I told you the direction is going to twist. We're going to have a plot twist.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
talk a little bit about that. The escape. Okay.
Yeah, inner city Philadelphia, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
Going into basic training with all walks of life.
Yeah.
I experienced a boatload of stuff
Yeah.
that really sharpened my personality, sharpened my becoming a man. I wouldn't trade my experience in the military for anything. Like I said, I loved every last bit of it. If I wasn't involved in a car accident, I would have probably still be in. I probably would have retired military. But yeah, I was involved in a car accident that gave me a discharge. So that's what ended my military career. So
Yeah. So let's go back.
sure.
So I have a sister who lives in Philadelphia.
Oh, come on.
Baby, listen. When child, we ain't even gonna talk about her kids. But anyhow, talking about that inner city kids, baby, it's a whole thing. But talk about the little bit of the escape, because
Sure.
we're not going to, I don't want to escape the fact that you came from, like, I think about me coming from the hood.
Yeah.
Like that would be considered the inner city of, like, the New Yorks and the,
Yeah.
Philly. So talk a little bit about that and why you felt going into the military was your escape.
Sure. Yeah. Because all around me, and let me be careful not to incriminate myself. All around me was, drug violence, gang violence.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I participated in either,
Yeah.
or not, but
Yeah.
just being around that, and doing stuff that was not of God.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really have you have to think. Are you going to spiral down, or are you going to
Yeah.
screw yourself up? So you have to really, and I was conscious enough to know that I was heading in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I was the minister of music at my church
At the time when you was,
since I was 13 years old. I would be praising the Lord on Sunday and be on the street on Monday.
cutting up.
So and that's another reason why I'm so grounded, because I had to go to church.
Yeah.
Mom and grandma made me go to church.
Yeah.
Okay, what you doing? But on Sunday morning, you're gonna be praising the Lord.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I was the minister of music, so I really had to go. It wasn't anything, nobody playing anything if I wasn't there. So
Yeah.
it was that struggle, the struggle is real when you grow up in that environment.
Yeah.
You know, thank God for my mom. She tried to keep me out of that, as long as she could, until I became a teenager, and, she had to work, and,
Yeah.
and my stepdad was working, and so it was just me and my sister at home. I'm not going to stay in the house. I'm out, you know.
Yeah.
It's the peer pressure of life. You gotta wear these J's, and you gotta wear this tracksuit, and
Listen, you better.
and, right. And mom and stepdad, they gotta pay bills. They're not giving
Yeah.
out money like that. So I had to
Yeah.
make my money some way, somehow.
Yeah.
If I wanted a pair of Jordans,
Listen, you speaking to the kids that probably need to see this video. They need
there's honest ways of doing it now.
exactly.
Hey,
But
you need a job, come work for me.
but because of the things that we see and the views that we see of our lives at the time, the things that we're in proximity of, we think that's the only way.
Right.
And so what made you get into the military? What was, was there another option?
Not really. I didn't see, honestly, I really didn't see a future for myself. Besides, like, knowing that there's this going on, and knowing that there's this going on, without working just a deadbeat 9 to 5 job,
Yeah.
I didn't really see a future for myself. And I know I wanted better for myself.
Yeah.
So, and I had a recruiter come to my high school, and, sold me the dream of, you get to travel the world, and you get to, you defend your country, and
Yeah.
and another reason that I really joined up was 9/11 too. 9/11 was a good reason why I joined, because I wanted payback.
Wow.
So, I was sitting in class, and, they sent everyone home because of the twin towers were hit. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. And I've already spoke with the recruiter. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sign up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my deciding factor there.
So now let's get into, so we know a little bit about your background, the area that you come from, the city that you rep in.
That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about, like, what was the catalyst? Because by then you were discharged, you've gone through life, you met your wife, and all the things have happened. So what was the pivotal moment that brought you into becoming a chef and deciding this is the career path that I want to take and go all the way in?
Sure. So, fast forward through life. We are here in Texas now. And I'll never forget it. 2018, November 2018. I call it the trifecta, because 3 things happened to me that really turned my life upside down.
Okay.
So before then, I was in banking, financial advisor, stuff like that, finance. And the week of November 18th, I lost my job over something crazy.
Yeah.
Then 3 days later, I lost my father.
Wow.
From cancer. And then 2 days later, 2 days before that, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
No. Wow.
So all in the same week. So as you can imagine, my mental state was not where it needed to be.
How did you handle that, John? Like, let's be real. I'm looking at you as a male.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking at you as a Black male.
Sure.
I'm looking at the fact that knowing Black men in my life, I haven't always been able to process what is going on internally with you. Like, so how did you handle that?
You know what? The cliche thing is one day at a time.
Yeah.
But it really is one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And having a supportive cast. My wife was pivotal in my mental state.
Yeah.
She was encouraging. She was not okay. So I'll say this, I was out of a job for a full year
Wow.
because when they wrote my termination, they put
Yeah.
something in that wasn't true, that was
Yeah.
not letting me get back into the financial world.
Mm.
Yes, and I tried to fight it, could not fight it.
Yeah.
So I was out of work for a full year. I didn't get another job till December of the next following year.
Yeah.
I would do little, odds and ends, helping people out, and then I had this one friend, who Chef Tino. He's like, man, that's my guy. That's my
Shout
ace
out
boom
to
coon,
Chef
is what they say.
Tino.
Chef Tino. So he's the Puerto Rican sensation.
All right, now, come on.
Yeah. So Chef Tino is a really good friend of mine. He served at my church. He was a part of my worship team there.
Yeah.
And so, he's a chef. So he had, different private events that he was like, hey, man, you want to come, learn some stuff or help me out, and I was like, bet,
Right.
I'm not working right now,
Yeah.
in the middle of looking for jobs. I come do some work, and literally fell in love with cooking all over again.
Wow.
All over again. To the point where my first job after my father passed and after I got fired was a line cook job at a local celebrity chef, Chef Tim Love, at his catering company. So
Yeah.
and from there it just took off. My love for cooking, I was learning things left and right. I was I'm talking about I was a sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause when you find your passion,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like work to me.
Talk about it.
It didn't, like, the hours were long. I was on my
Yeah.
feet all the time. My feet hurt, back hurt, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like work. I felt that I knew this was what I was supposed to do. And, being the low man on the totem pole at a
Yeah.
company, it's kind of hard when you're used to this and you're getting this, and
Yeah.
and one thing I have to really shout my wife out to is that she did not complain.
Mm.
Most modern women nowadays, if you're not
Yeah.
bringing in the bacon,
Baby, the complaints is coming.
the complaints are coming.
Something is coming.
Yes,
Yeah.
and my wife knew that I wouldn't be down long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why no matter how successful I become,
Yeah.
she's it. I'm
Yeah.
not looking for anybody else, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is
Period.
it. She held me
Yeah.
down when I was down.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna hold her up when I'm up.
Yeah. That's-
So yeah, so it was a good journey to continue. 6 to 7 months after, not even that, about 4 months after I started working and was
Yeah.
excelling so much, where I was actually going to get a promotion for a sous chef. Then the pandemic happened.
Wow.
Pandemic happened and life changed again. Had to lay everyone off.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I just got this job, I'm doing so
Yeah.
well, and now I'm home collecting an unemployment check.
Did you feel like it was a trigger for you from the events that you had just recently come from?
You know what? It wasn't. Only
Okay.
because like I said, my mental health was good.
Okay.
My mental health was good. Once I got this job and I was doing well, and I found my passion, my mental health was good. Yes, it was tough being, getting laid off, but the whole world was laid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't anything like, something that I did to make this happen or, anything like that. The whole world shut down.
Yeah.
So, I knew once everything picks back up, I'll always have a job,
Yeah.
with Chef Tim and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that happened. A few months later, they reopened up and they invited me back, and I came back for a
Yeah.
little bit, and I was like, you know what? This is not it.
Yeah.
I'll stay home and and do something else. And I started doing cooking classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
and online cooking classes, and then that turned into once the world started opening back up again to
Mhm.
people like, hey, do you want to come cook for me and my family? And
Yeah.
then that turned into, hey, I got this corporate event going there. I got this
Yeah.
doctor's office that I go
Wow.
to. They're looking for this chef to do this. And then that turned into, hey, I'm getting married. I got about 150 people
Wow.
coming. Can you handle that? And now that's what I do full time.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, and I love every minute of it.
That's amazing. What an amazing
Mhm.
story. How that happened. But
Yeah,
then the wrench that was thrown was the pandemic.
yeah.
Yes, your wife is on. She said, "Look at God,
That's
praise Him forevermore."
right. That's
Listen,
right.
listen. But you said something like, I think one of the things that I don't want people to miss is the movement that you made.
Sure.
That even though in the pandemic, the small movement that you made was that you said, "Hey, I'm gonna start a cooking class online. I'm gonna go virtual."
Yep.
And then that became the catalyst of something else. And then
Right.
that thing became the catalyst of something else. So the word of the day is that move.
That's right.
Make a move,
Make a move.
make a move, do something. So I know we have a little bit of talking time, and we're going to talk some more because you're actually going to do a live demo in my
Yes.
podcast, which made me so nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so many things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's transition. Now we know you're a chef.
Mhm.
Um we have a lot of, so what is your role in your house now that you are a chef as
Okay.
far as cooking?
So my role has always been the cook of my household. I won my wife's heart by cooking.
Really?
Yes, yes, yes. So she went out of town. We were just really in the infancy stage of our dating,
Yeah.
and she went out of town, and I think she was having her carpets cleaned because she moved out of apartment.
Yeah.
So she went out of town for something, right? And she asked me, "Hey, can you just let these guys in? Clean up, so they can clean the apartment."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure thing." And so what she didn't know is that I stayed there until she got back that night, right?
Yeah.
And I literally, so in Philadelphia, you don't necessarily need a car because it's public transportation.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a car, but I went all the way to her house. So, and I literally walked from her apartment all the way to the grocery store, which was about maybe 2.5 miles away, to buy
Ooh.
groceries. Walk, and we didn't have what is it, Uber?
DoorDash or
Yeah,
Uber
yeah,
Eats.
yeah, yeah. We didn't have all that Uber and all that stuff then. So I literally walked all the way back and made her a dinner and an Oreo cheesecake for dessert. She'll tell you about this Oreo cheesecake every time.
Listen, we're trying to get the Oreo cheesecake.
Right, right, right.
I mean,
And literally I think from then on, she was a little bit nicer to me.
it's food. So, gentlemen, if you're watching, it's the food.
It's the food.
Listen, she said it was the bomb. Feed her. So, when I was thinking about this, John, I was thinking, like, I don't ever, like, I never thought of like calling the male a chef, or not a chef, but a cook.
Yeah, yeah.
Most men, most of the time, the tradition of a man who cooks in the household, or what I've seen, is that they grill. They do grilling, they smoking turkeys, they smoke chicken, brisket, all of that. But y'all never think to call them a cook, because the mindset that I have of somebody cooking is the woman like doing, and I know that may be seem a bit sexist, but my bad, y'all. Like, I'm just listen. This is but like, the view of the woman over, baking goods, or over the stove top, oven cooking, all the crock pot, all the things that come with cooking. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, wow, what a shift of like what you do for your household. So how do you think you cooking and all the things that you do and bring to your household, how does that impact, your family?
Sure. So I know for a fact that it truly alleviates a lot of pressure from my wife.
Yeah.
My wife she's a very career oriented woman.
Yeah.
And she has a very demanding job.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas though our dynamic works so well because
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of downtime most of the time. Like
Okay.
when I'm cooking,
Yeah.
but in between events, I have a lot of downtime, which is great because I can take the kids to school, I can pick the
Yeah.
kids up, I can cook dinner. So when my wife gets off work, she can relax, and don't have to worry about what the kid's gonna eat. Now, sometimes, I'm cooking and stuff like that. She'll be like, she'll have to throw on some, chicken nuggets or something.
Listen. Ain't no shame in the
Right?
chicken
Ain't no
nuggets.
shame.
Ain't
Ain't
no
no shame.
shame.
Right. But so it really, it's an awesome dynamic, and it's great for my boys to see as well that yes, there's no specific gender role.
You better talk.
Like women doesn't have to be in the kitchen cooking while
Yeah.
bringing home the bacon, and yes, that
Yeah.
is all fine and dandy. That is
Yeah.
great. That's a great dynamic.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I bring home really good bacon and also cook in the kitchen.
Period.
Period. So, but and it's great because my oldest son, he's my first employee, so he has.
Nice.
Oh yeah, gotta get that tax break.
Okay. Oh Lord.
So he's learning in the kitchen. He's learning life skills so he doesn't have to depend on a woman to cook for him. He'll know how to cook, he'll know how to clean, he'll know how to take care of himself so that he can be better prepared to take care of his significant other.
How important is that to you, John?
That's very important. Oh my gosh, that's very important. Because I am still a traditional man where my wife doesn't have to lay a finger to do anything. So I'll take care of my wife. We go on trips, we do all kinds of stuff. She get all kinds of lavish gifts and all that stuff. I take care of my baby. But I want to make sure that my boys know that you have to take care of yourself first. And then you'll have the ability to take care of someone else.
So I know you had spoke on like I know Latoya, so I know your wife. She is very career driven, so career driven. She really is. And it's not a bad thing.
No.
And so and I know you had mentioned this that it doesn't clash, like so I was going to ask that, like, what's the dynamics of that? You have your wife is very career driven and you're a boss with your own company.
Right.
So, and that's two moving in a direction where both of y'all's careers are very important.
Right.
And so how are y'all handling that dynamic?
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't always like this. This the last, I want to say, 2 years of our marriage has been blissful.
Yeah.
Because we really figured out how to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And we figured out what we got rid of all of those preconceived expectations.
Yeah.
And when we talked about expectations,
then
we really contoured that to our relationship. So with her job being demanding and taking a lot of her time, with my job being demanding at times where, I probably don't even see my family for 3 or 4 days straight because I'm either shopping or away cooking or something like that. You really have to have that communication. And intentional communication to strive, to be effective with the marriage and with the parenting and stuff like that. So, and I'm a very selfless person. I put my wife and my kids' needs above everything. Now, do I work and stuff like that? And when I miss a football game here and there, yes, because I have to make sure that I'm putting their needs above everything else. But it's really about communicating and making sure that you guys are on the same page, whether it's parenting, whether it's your marriage, whether it's bills, whether it's just extracurricular activities, vacations. We have to talk about everything.
Yeah.
In a safe space.
Yeah. Oh, listen. Now, John, listen. Listen, I know we said we was gonna have you cooking, but good Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Listen, you said a couple of things, like you said, intentional communication. Like, what does that mean for you? Like, what does intentional communication mean?
Sure. We set up time to talk.
Yeah.
We either go for a stroll and talk.
Yeah.
Leave the house, leave the kids, say, hey, we'll be back, we're going for a walk.
Yeah.
But we literally set up time to talk. And if there's an issue, then it's brought up in a safe space where it's like, hey, I need to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
When can we talk? And and then we'll figure out when can we talk.
Yeah.
There's no you hear the dreaded words of what is it? We need to talk. No, that's not. No, that's none of that. There's none of that. There's no animosity when my wife comes to me and say, "Hey, I need to talk to you about this."
Yeah.
That's my partner.
Yeah.
She's my partner. Why would I feel any sort of type of way if I'm doing something or not doing something that is bothering her? Then I need to address that because that's my partner.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So, if she's not doing something that, I need her to get done or she's doing something that I don't like, then I say, hey, babe, can we talk about this for a second? And if that's not right, now is not the right, good time, then we schedule time. So that's where the intentionality comes in because you have to talk about it. You can't just sweep it under the rug. Yeah. You have to talk about these things with a safe mindset. We both know that we love each other. Yeah. And we don't want to hurt each other. Mm-hmm. So when we're talking to each other, we're not getting loud. Even if it does get a little intense, we park it. Okay, we're gonna park it right now, and we'll come back to it, such and such time. Yeah. When we cool down and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's all about being intentional, and making it work.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask you one more question. Okay, and we're gonna get into this cooking because I want to make sure that all our people get to see this cooking that's about to go down. Oh yeah. But you talked about a safe space. Yes. Has it always been a safe space? No. And how did you end up creating that safe space? Because everybody doesn't have that, and so. How did y'all create that safe space? Because that's super important because it's really hard to have intense conversations or raw conversations if there isn't that safe space because you have this guard up and it's like as if you're tiptoeing around things. Right. So how did y'all create that?
It took years to really create that. It took some counseling. I am a high believer in marriage counseling. Yeah. Where most men isn't. Yeah. Or aren't. I truly believe that a Christian counseling. Yeah. Depending on I don't know what you believe or not, but for us, we are Christians. We do Christian counseling. Yeah. And you need that one person that is, balanced. Then that's not swaying for her, not swaying for me. Yeah. But that's really gonna hear our thoughts and have us come together on a conclusion for that. So really believing in counseling. Mm-hmm. We did a marriage seminar that really changed the dynamic of our relationship. Yeah. And if you're still listening, babe, I'm gonna tell it. So like I said, I'm a very selfless person. I do a lot for my family. Yeah. Right. Because I want my family to thrive. Yeah. When we went to this marriage seminar, they split us up in husbands and then wives. So, and then my wife and her group, she was hearing all of the stuff that these married women were saying that their husbands don't do and and stuff like that. And she was like, "Well, my husband does that. Oh, he does that. Oh, he does." And then it really clicked for her. That was like, "Oh my gosh, I have."
She's talking about, Lord, why Jesus?
Yeah.
Why? Listen, this is my show, Latoya. I'm asking the questions. He can tell me he don't want to answer, but like, you know what, Brittany, let's go ahead and table that. This my show, Latoya.
But so she was like, my husband is actually doing a lot of these things that these women want their husbands to do, and I'm just not realizing it because of my expectations. And then we had a really great conversation about her expectations, my expectations, what we want to happen going forward. And that, like I said, that changed the dynamic of our relationship. That's where these table talks started to happen. That's where these walks started to happen. And we really started to communicate like like a healthy married couple.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Latoya's laughing. She's
I put you out there, but you all right.
He put you just a little bit. You all right. Oh, he didn't listen. He didn't tell us about his session when he went over to the husband side. Listen.
I think we got to cook now. I think
you putting your business out in the streets. You ain't gonna do that. Don't put her business out there.
Where's my coffee? Hold on.
So listen, we are getting ready to do a live demo. John, thank you so much. That information was just, it was perfect. It was great. I literally told you this. I said, watch, it's gonna flip. I don't know where we're gonna go. But I know the spirit of God just gonna switch this thing on up. So we are here. So John has a special treat for us. Now so like full transparency, me and John were literally just talking, and I was like, dang, I should have been at the crib. And like we could have talked and had a good time and everything. Could have been sipping some wine or something, like what? Right. A whole vibe. That's all right. Lesson learned. It doesn't matter. We'll do it next time. So John, we're gonna switch. We're going to change it over. We're going to switch the view. So John is going to go over to a stove, and we're going to change the view here so that you all can see what he's going to cook. He is going to cook chicken. Wait, you say it. Chicken. There you go. See, I said it completely wrong. And he's going to send the recipe after the show, so it'll be on the description of everything that he's going over. But we're still going to talk. We're still going to conversate. So we're going to switch the view. Yep. We can get a look at John's stovetop. So here we go. Okay. I am so excited about this.
All right. Let me fix the camera a little bit.
Perfect. Okay. So John, I want you to talk through, like, is this something that Latoya gonna eat today? Like, Latoya, you getting this meal tonight?
Well, we're gonna pack this meal up, and they're gonna have that for dinner tomorrow night.
Period.
So this is one of my favorite dishes, Tuscan chicken. I cook it a lot for my clients. Really simple, easy dish. So it's basically chicken. I use chicken thighs because they're super juicy, and they take on flavor well. And the Tuscan part is with the sun-dried tomatoes. Okay, we have some Parmesan cheese, we have an onion, we have some garlic here, some cherry tomatoes, some baby spinach here. We have some portobello mushrooms and some white cooking wine to deglaze, some chicken stock and heavy cream and butter. Okay, all the ingredients. Now this is going to be a chicken with sauce. And then for your side, you can do whatever you want. So I'm not going to do a side. I'm just going to show you how to do the chicken. Okay, so for side, you could do rice. You can also do a potato. You could do a risotto. You could do any kind of, it pairs well with a starch. Okay, all right. First thing.
So thinking about this, John. So John, while you're doing that, thinking about, you mentioned earlier about your health. So is this health conscious? Like could this be a part of someone's, diet if they had, if they've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes?
So the one thing that I, depending on what stage you are in on your journey, and how your A1C is going and stuff like that, this particular dish would be on the lower end of the A1C.
Okay.
Just because of the cream. The cream really, and the Parmesan is really what spikes the sugars.
Okay.
And then the sun-dried tomatoes as well. But
Okay.
you can still see the great thing that I do everything in moderation.
Yeah.
You know, so you can cut out a whole lot of sugars, you can cut out a whole lot of stuff, but you really want to make sure that you don't deprive yourself. Because when you deprive yourself, that's when you get emotional eating, and then you go on binges and stuff like that.
Listen, many a
So,
times. Many.
Everything is in moderation.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna start by turning on the stove. Okay, to a high heat. We're gonna turn on the stove. Let that pan get really, really hot. And then while we're doing that, we're going to start chopping some stuff here. I'm going to chop these mushrooms. Let me get a bowl to put that in.
All right. And I'm going to change the view, y'all, so we can get a good look at everything.
Okay. And so...
I love mushrooms too.
Oh my gosh. So the variations that you can use, I'm using portobellos, but I love shiitake mushrooms. Oh my gosh, I love shiitakes. So you can use shiitakes. They're just a little bit on the expensive side.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can use those. You can do all types of variations of different mushrooms. If they're dry, just rehydrate them.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you mean just rehydrate them? What do you mean by that?
If they're dried mushrooms, you just put them in a bowl and put some water in them until they rehydrate, and then you pat them dry. So everything here has been washed, and like a mushroom's been washed, and the chicken's been washed already. Wanted to do that beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna check the heat on the stove. Okay, so to know when your stove is hot, okay? So when you're looking at under the stove, there's a burner that goes around like this, right? Which means the outer portion of the pan is gonna get hot first. So when you put your hand in the pan, your fingertips are gonna be hot, and then the palm of your hand is gonna, like your wrist is gonna be hot. Once the palm of your hand gets hot, then you know your pan is ready.
Okay, look at that. We learning tips and tricks.
Yeah. Or if it starts smoking. We don't need a smoke point on this one.
Oh Lord.
Because even though we're gonna do a sear, we don't need a hard sear.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are chopped. We're gonna put a little bit of oil in. Okay. A little bit of oil in, and then we're gonna place our chicken in a second here, so we can start that. All right. So we're also going to cut this onion up. So I don't throw anything away. I used half of this onion yesterday.
Okay.
I'm going to use the rest of this onion today.
How do you store your onions?
Depends on, so like for this one, I just put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the fridge because I knew I was going to use it the next day.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to go longer, I have a vacuum sealer that I'll use.
Come on here. Come on. Because my household ain't got nothing, ain't got no vacuum nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to be on add to cart in Amazon. Package delivered tomorrow.
That's right. Okay. And then we're just gonna do a rough chop.
So I see the way that you're chopping up your onions. Like I don't listen. Somebody gonna be listen.
Yeah, we're just doing a rough chop. Nothing fancy. Yeah, nothing fancy.
This is pretty dope. Dang, I wish I would have been at the crib. So but that's all right. I'm enjoying this so much.
Awesome.
Okay, so what did you wait? Okay, wait, come back. What's that chicken sitting in?
Oh, it's just the juices that
Oh, okay,
add.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. So normally I will brine my chicken, which
What does that
is
mean?
a brine.
Listen,
So I let it sit overnight in like a bunch of herbs and spices and stuff like
got it,
that.
got it. Is that
You
the
don't
proper? Is that
necessarily
the proper? Is that the proper name to call it?
to brine it. Yes,
Okay,
yes. So normally I would do that. You don't have to.
okay.
Um, so I'm gonna put these in.
Listen, people, if y'all listen, you watching live, I ain't gonna act like I know the language or act like I know anything. If
Oh no,
I
you're good.
don't
I'm sorry, I
know,
can't hear you.
if I don't know, I'm gonna ask.
Okay, what'd you say?
I said, listen, I told the people, I said, listen, I'm not gonna act like I know everything. If I don't know, I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, please.
Listen,
Please
if you know, good for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and season the chicken.
Okay.
Some salt, pepper.
Wait a minute, is that a blue light on the pepper? Like what is that?
What'd you say?
I said, John, what is that? That look like a blue light over the chicken.
Oh yeah. That's a electric pepper mill.
Honey, listen. Add to cart. Add to carts.
Mm-hmm.
Look at baby. Okay, so
Oh
what you
yeah.
need the blue? What you need the blue light for though?
That's just a feature of the pepper mill.
Oh
I guess it
Lord.
shows you, if you're cooking in the dark. I don't know why you would be.
I don't know
But
why you would.
okay. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna cook that chicken for a good 5 to 6 minutes per side. Then we're gonna take it out, throw it in the oven at 350, preheated,
Okay.
and then we're gonna build our base here, our sauce base.
Okay.
Okay. So we got the onions. Let me go ahead and put these onions in this bowl because we're gonna do everything in layers.
Okay.
If we throw everything in the pot at one time, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
cook. Things cook differently in different times. Like the mushrooms are gonna cook super fast.
Yep.
The onions aren't gonna cook super fast, right?
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on our chicken, we're gonna cut our tomatoes in half as well,
Okay.
so that all we have to do is throw things in the pot when they're needed.
Okay.
And if that chicken smells so freaking good,
I can't even
I can't wait for
imagine.
them to have smell-o-vision, right?
See, listen. I would have been sticking my finger like John. The food ain't ready yet.
Right. Okay. So let's see here. Almost. We just need those to brown up. To brown up a little bit.
Wait, so what kind of pan? What kind of pan is that? That's a nice looking pan.
It's like a mini Dutch oven. Yeah. I think I got that one from Costco. They had a really good deal on it. So I was like, okay, let me try it out. And I love it.
Listen, I'm about to drop Sam's Club like a bad habit.
No, I go to both. I actually shop more at Sam's than I do at Costco.
Really?
Yes.
Chad, listen, Costco down the street. It's right off the freeway. So I'm trying to figure because going into Sam's, I mean, you can go to where we stay, Sam's two ways. It's either in Keller or it's in, over in Ruth Snow. So it's just like you could go either way, but still.
Right. I mean, like I said, Sam's, I do a lot of shopping at Sam's. Just for the food. Oh, look at that. Good brown.
Look at that chicken. I'm hungry already.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I love when my pan sizzles.
Listen, I'm about to go get this pan that you got.
So a little bit more salt, a little bit of pepper.
I guess for all the single ladies, y'all need to add to your list of a man that can cook. Period. Period. Put that on the prayer list.
That's it. That's it.
Put
That
that
is
on the
it.
prayer. Put that on the prayer list,
It'll
please.
change your life.
Change your life. Put that on the prayer list.
Oh yeah. All right.
So, do you know what, John? I guess the question that I have is, do you have to cook separate meals for like you, your children, or things like that? Like I know you're cooking like I don't know if my kids would eat that, but they 7 and 3. They picky right now. So
Sure. Sure.
how are you doing that in your household?
So sometimes I do cook separate meals. It's more so me and the boys will eat something, and then my wife will eat something a little different with her diet. So she loves more vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate vegetables,
Oh,
and my youngest son is just like me. If I can get around it, I get around it. But I absolutely hate it. So I normally cook 2 different meals. um, so, but yeah, so me and the boys will eat. They pretty much since they grew up, with me cooking,
yeah.
they eat whatever I make.
Yeah.
And I'm still one of those type of parents that you don't leave the table until you finish.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm still kind of old school like that. But because that's how I was raised.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's real. That's real. That's
yeah.
that's real. That's real.
That's how exactly how I was raised. So, you know. All right, so I think these are good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good feel on that.
Perfect.
I'm gonna take these out.
Man, this is awesome.
Look at God.
Look, wow, look at God.
Look at God. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven
Yeah.
so they can finish cooking while we build our sauce here. So I'm taking the mushrooms. Mushrooms going in first.
Mushrooms go in first. And we're putting this in. We're putting this in because the mushrooms cook the fastest.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily the fastest, but they have the most moisture.
Okay.
So I want all that moisture to come out of the mushrooms.
Okay.
Because it's gonna make if I put the mushrooms in later, it's gonna make the sauce soupy. We don't want that. We don't want a loose sauce, right? Okay. And so what we're gonna do, also in about 1 minute, we're gonna throw in the onions as well.
Okay.
But before that, we're gonna deglaze the pan with this white wine.
Wait a minute. What is deglaze the pan?
So you see all the brown bits in there from the chicken?
Yeah.
When you deglaze, the steam from whatever liquid that you're deglazing is going to lift that up and incorporate the flavor into whatever you have.
Got it.
Yeah.
Listen, using language that I don't know.
So, I'm going to mix that in.
I mean, look how he moving that pan.
I'm sorry?
I said, look how you moving that pan.
Yeah. We're going to take some of these mushrooms and just scrape around.
Okay.
So that could get all those little nooks and crannies of that chicken.
Yeah, that look good.
Yeah. See all that moisture coming out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that pan too because it retains heat very well.
Listen, I need the pan.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, go on ahead and send us the link.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and throw our onions in.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna let those flavors incorporate. Once the onions become translucent,
Okay.
we're gonna throw in our next ingredient, which is gonna be the garlic.
So, John, do you have an iron skillet at your house?
I have a couple iron, like cast irons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, that's essential. Yeah, if you're a chef and you don't have an iron skillet or a cast iron, I don't think you're a chef.
I don't think you cooking. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think you,
you're
I
not.
don't.
Yeah, you're not cooking. Cooking. I'll tell you that.
You're not cooking.
Yeah,
What are you doing? What are
that's
you
exactly
doing?
right. That's exactly right.
What are you doing?
That's exactly right. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at these. Okay, that looks good to me.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and throw in this garlic. I got about 2 tablespoons of garlic.
Okay.
Love garlic. Sometimes I like to just slice them so they can be in bigger pieces.
Yeah.
But for the course for this recipe, minced is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Child, listen. Listen. I'm about to drive down the freeway and come get my plate.
Hey, come on through. Come on through.
I'm about to go get my plate.
Come on through. I'm telling you, come on through.
So I guess, John, if you can hear me,
Yeah.
is how, like, where do you get your vegetables? Like, how important is it for you to buy certain vegetables from certain stores?
Let me tell you, I go to so many different stores for so many different things.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, my vegetables I either get from Central Market. If I don't want to go all the way to Central Market in South Lake,
Yeah.
then I'll go to Kroger. I think that they out of the local markets they will have the best. Now once HEB opens up here next year,
Honey, listen.
right down the street, baby.
Right down the street.
Yep.
Listen, excited.
Yep.
On 10. I don't even know what to do with myself. Every time I ride down there, I'm like, opening soon.
Yep.
2024. Cannot wait. Okay.
Love it. Love it. All right. So what we're gonna do next? So yeah. So Kroger is another place I go to get vegetables. I get a lot of my meats from. There's a butcher in Keller called the Z Cattle Bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I get a lot of meats from them.
Okay.
So go to Kroger for meats, Walmart even for meats too.
Okay.
Yeah, certain kinds. Okay, so these are good to go. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add the tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Okay.
Okay. They don't have to be broken down. So we're gonna add those and then add the heavy cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, heavy cream. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, let me put all of this in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was about a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups. Okay. And so what I like to do is just shake to combine. And now we're just gonna start building.
Okay.
So we have the star of the show, which is the sun-dried tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Yep.
Yep. And you have them julienne cut. Okay, which is strips.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna throw these babies right in. Okay. And then let's mix this up. Make sure you scrape in the sides. We want all that flavor. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we have grated Parmesan.
Okay.
You grate it yourself, or you can buy it already grated.
Yeah.
Either or. I'm gonna throw that in. That's about a cup and a half. Okay. And mix that in very well. And the Parmesan is going to make it thicken up a little bit. Make sure you scrape the sides down because you want all that flavor.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's getting a little bit thick now. Okay. So we're gonna let that cook for a good minute to reduce a little bit. Now here's the key: if your sauce is getting too thick, then you can add a little bit of chicken broth. Okay. The chicken broth is not going to reduce the flavor at all.
Okay.
It's actually going to enhance the flavor, and I specifically like bone broth.
Okay.
Because it's a deeper flavor.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna let that thicken up. Then we're gonna add our baby spinach, and you can add as much spinach as you want because it's gonna wilt down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this whole container is gonna wilt down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know. And so, man, if you guys could smell this.
Listen.
Oh my gosh. Come on, Jesus.
Okay, come on.
So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and taste this. Let me grab a spoon.
Okay.
So before I start adding seasonings and all kinds of stuff like that, I'm going to taste it. Taste as you go. I didn't want to put any salt in because the Parmesan is going to be super salty already. So, oh, that's good. We need to add some things.
Okay.
And that's the importance of tasting. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of butter. Make it creamy. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt. About 2 pinches or a teaspoon. Yeah, the sauce is sticking it up. Love it. I shake it like this to incorporate the butter so it doesn't break.
Yeah.
Man, that looks good. Okay. That one's used. Get a clean tasting spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's good.
Listen.
Okay, we're gonna add the spinach.
Okay. Yeah, that look good.
And I'm adding this whole thing.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's gonna wilt down.
Okay.
And also thicken up the sauce as well.
Listen, I might make some Tuscan chicken.
I'm telling you. Oh. There you go. Look at that. Wilting down.
Looks so good.
Okay.
Looks so good.
It's creamy, it's cheesy, super flavorful. One thing I'm going to add, you don't necessarily have to,
Okay.
but I like to add it because I like a little bit of spice,
Yep.
is a little Creole seasoning.
Okay. Yep.
Now that's not traditional,
Yeah.
but I just like it.
I do too. I like a little spice, so that's great.
Okay. So just a little Tony's. Now give it a little bit of color as well.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
Get the sides.
That looks so good.
My God. All right, last tasting spoon. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
That is, yeah. Okay, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get this chicken.
Now, John, can you that same little cream sauce that you made? Could you put that over spaghetti noodles?
Oh, you sure can.
Okay.
Get some like penne
Yeah.
pasta.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm thinking
it's
about it. I'm like,
essentially
oh wow.
it's essentially an Alfredo sauce.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, this will go well on anything. Get some like garlic bread. Oh, Jesus Christ and Latter Day Saints.
Listen. I'm hiring you to come over to the house and cook a meal.
Let's go. And
Listen.
so we're gonna put these right in here,
Okay.
and we're gonna let that cook for a good 2 to 3 minutes longer.
Yeah.
And we're gonna add these pan drippings, because that's nothing but flavor.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna shake to incorporate. And that's Tuscan chicken. Oh, wait.
What is that?
Yeah.
Is that the paprika?
This is basil.
Basil. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this basil is already is dried, but you can do fresh basil if you want. Either way is good.
Yeah.
So we got the basil there and parsley.
Okay.
And like I said, no, I mean, if you want to be traditional, you can go ahead and chop it up yourself, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Let me plate this for you, so you can see. Take a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get one of these good old chicken thighs.
Okay.
You know, do I want to put it in a bowl? No. Don't want to put it in a bowl. If I'm gonna plate it, I'm gonna plate it right. There we go. So you can see the magic. Okay. I'm gonna get two.
Okay.
Throw it up. There you go. And we're just going to get all this drizzle around. Okay. And because I have to, gotta clean it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a little bit more parsley on top.
Okay. Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Look at that. Look at that. My Lord.
All right, now we gotta taste it.
Yeah. Gone ahead and taste it.
I'm tasting it for you.
Okay. Got to love it.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
yeah.
look how ease of that chicken.
Oh, hold on. You got to see how juicy this chicken is.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn the other camera back on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that look good.
Look at that. Look how it's dripping.
Dripping. Drip, drip.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Okay. All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Mmm. Oh
I know.
God.
I know. I love some hot food too. Listen.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
That, you're the chef. John. So I want to thank you, but how can people get in contact with you? Like, what's the way? How can they get in contact with you?
So, I'm still chewing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
Okay. So, you can reach me via any of my social media channels or platforms. So, via Facebook or Instagram. My website is www.chefsplate.net. Okay. Please email me. And I'm assuming you will have all my links and stuff like that for you. I'm gonna give it to Brandy there so you guys can reach me. Hey, and I travel.
Yeah.
If you live in Oklahoma, I'll travel. If you live in Delaware, I got you.
Yeah.
So just let me know. We'll work out all the details, and you can have a little bit of chef's plate on your plate.
All right. Wow. Thank you, John. This was so amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for your expertise. I really do appreciate it. And for those of you who stayed on or who is watching the replay, thank you for watching. Let us know if you will even make this dish or make this plate. Thank y'all so much. And I will see you back here November 8th. At 6:30, we have a marriage licensed therapist. Her and her husband are changing the lives of marriages. And so meet us here at 6:30 Central Standard Time, November 8th. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. Thank y'all so much.